once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. It is Talcott Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of you, whether you're here with me in the now or the later. Blessings and much gratitude to you all. I appreciate everyone. Please and do tell your friends to tune in to Chats with Jack. Let's share some love and fellowship, man. Good magic. That is what love is really about. And blessings to all of you, right? Really, it is. Happy almost Christmas. I mean, that's kind of, in a way, one of my favorites, Talcott shorts. Oh, I'm feeling good, man. In the background, a reminder, delight in the Lord, man. Peace and blessings to all on this glorious Talcott Tuesday. I wasn't going to run with that, but then I thought, you know what? Why not? Praise God and live without fear. I'll claim it. Today, celebrate with me, Talcott Tuesday. This glorious day that has been offered for us to share, to explore, to discover. Praise God, man. I'm really in pretty high spirits today. Not high, okay, for those who want to just jump to accusations. Not high, but elevated spirits and joy. Just high energies of love. And I'm curious what the day's gonna bring. Because it's serious. Seriously, man. It is this season. There's a specialness and a uniqueness to this time of year, regardless. It's in the background, right? For God so loved the world, showed us the way to our freedom, to our heavenly rewards. For God so loved the world, he showed us how to be with love, how to be with God. Here on earth, it's the way to be, the way of Jesus, okay? For those who might have misunderstood, it's not just you believe in a name, it's not just you believe in a story. If you believe, then you do, okay? You do because you know. You know, you don't just believe, you believe so you can accept. And then that which you can accept and believe, you can understand. And what you can understand, you can know. And if you can know the spirit and wholeness of God is with you, that love, that power, so that you shine like he did. I'm pretty sure that's what we're supposed to be doing, to be honest. I mean, it really just makes sense. Because for God so loved the world, he gave us this perfect story, this perfect example, this perfect life that just keeps happening. Life. We're a part of it. It's an amazing gift to be shared, to be nurtured, to be grown, right? We're not here to harvest from each other and steal and control and possess each other, right? We're not here to get possessed by stupid ideas either. Limiting beliefs. We're not here to be possessed or be possessors. We're here to be like transmitters and generators of love. So this topic today is: your love withheld or shared more often? It's something I've been wondering myself. I like to think I offer love, I share love, right? Because love grows when it's given. It's the way this universe, this realm is created. Love is the force and the power that's behind all life and growth. It's what nurtured and natured our existence into being. Whether we feel it, love, right? Whether we feel love or we recognize love or we understand love or not, love is this power and force that's with us. It's written in the Bible and in other places how God is love, right? To know love is to know God. To know God is to know love. Now, the depths of those two can be explored in, perhaps through eternity. Love and God could be explored forever and ever and ever. And it could start right now and here. So let it be. Let it be with us. Let God be with us in the presence, because it is. God is with us. It's everything. It is. It's within and throughout and beyond everything. God is. That is. I just gotta laugh at myself sometimes because I hear how I sound. Holy cows, man. And I know this makes sense to me. So the reality is, uh, hey, yes, I love that. Tap the like and keep it in your pants. I love it. um, Golly geez. And yeah, you know what? This is a real world. It's a material world where everything seems to cost money. I think that is a crime against nature. It should not cost people money to live. That's ridiculous. It's crazy sauce. We don't. When God allows me to share some ideas with Donald Trump, before I get off onto that soapbox, I want to. I want to thank and welcome everyone who has found the notification, found your way here. There's not a lot of us gathered here yet, but I'm going to drop the link and welcome anyone to join. Really, pretty much anyone. There may be exceptions, but I'll play that when it happens. Um, for those who wish to join, uh, feel free, click the link, and we'll see what today brings. This is what I found and I trust to be true, Arpol. A cheerful giver is rewarded with a clear, good conscience, right? Because not only do you carry the memory of giving, but you carry the memory of your cheer. And the two just compound. It's the order of nature and love and life. There's a perfect pattern and order to everything. God is so brilliant. God is so amazing. God is so glorious, dude. Yeah, it doesn't come through here, but praise God, man. Praise God, indeed. Nobody from Team Evil. Well, that was one of the ones I was wondering about. Um, you know, because here's the reality. I get a lot of ideas in my head, things I'd love to discuss and talk about. But it really comes down to what people want to receive. But please receive this idea. I was considering this thought earlier. Telling yourself to doubt right? To have doubts in someone or doubts in something, something you heard, something you've experienced, whatever. Telling yourself to doubt, what is that doing? It's giving yourself permission to worry and to feel anxious. Because if you want to doubt, you can. You can doubt everything. You can feel just anxious and worried and upset. You can find all sorts of evidence to prove yourself right. God is so good, man. God is so. God is amazing, dude. God created the appearance of evil. The substance of evil is not, right? Because evil has no true substantive force. For evil is just an absence from the light. And that's just a temporary condition. Something absent from the light, something absent from the love of God in true evil, it cannot continue. It's against the order of existence, right? But God will allow evil to be, and God has allowed mankind to, to do all sorts of crazy things in the name of God, but truly do some evil things. It's happening right now in the world we're living in, right? Because I heard something recently. Apparently, Benjamin Netanyahu is scheduled to return to Congress again in January. Something I might have just heard today, and I might be mistaken, right? But what Netanyahu is doing and Donald Trump are doing, those two buddy boys, right? Frat boys and all their wealthy enablers. These guys are nuts, man. They're absolutely insane. And this is a sign of today, brothers and sisters. Where is the love? Why would a loving God create evil? So that the good can win, can feel the experience of winning. I actually believe that's why we're here, that which is. And that which is, well, I don't want to be mistaken, but I know there's some who are regularly here as critics and of mine in opposition to what I say. But if you can toy around with the idea that it could be true that we, you and me, right? We are here to taste the victory of overcoming the darkness, overcoming evil here on earth, right? Because truly, when the good of the world, the good men and women of the world, when we unite together and we shine brightly and we shine strongly, fiercely, right? Non-violently, of course. But when we shine together with the bright light of awareness and intelligence, with the heart of compassion, truly uniting us and leading us, right? So compassion is leading our search for the answers, and our intelligence, we can discern what is right and what is wrong, especially when we unite together in order to know what is right and what is wrong. And I suggest that all of you who are here with me, now or later, we are here to help and to for the peace movement here on earth, to celebrate in victory, right? To truly achieve dream, this dream of Dr. King, not just a nation, not just a land, but an entire world where golly, jeez, where freedom and prosperity are truly shared, right? in a world where it's not pay to play, in a world that's generous. It's stern, right? There's discipline, there's order, but it's correcting, it's forgiving. We create a society that's more merciful, more compassionate, more uplifting instead of, oppressing. Because this system of profits and debts, it's built in legalized exploitation. Hello, it's legalized exploitation, this system of profits and debts, this currency game that's manipulated by the Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve and all these bullshit titles. And it's all analytics, it's all numbers and games, it's all bull crap, guys. The whole Federal Reserve and economic system that people are so proud of, so excited about, it's crumbling, right? It's being sold away. The American dollar is about to crash. Just, the numbers game. Oh, praise God, praise God. It is time to change. It's time for the world to change. And brothers and sisters, if you are here with me and you're resonating with me, even if you don't fully understand me, even if you don't see the full picture, right? If you're here with me and you get this, I want you to feel some of my excitement. Because time's running out, right? It's December 23rd, 2025, but I am a man of deep faith, deep love of God, and I truly trust and believe in miracles. So if you join me in this idea that we can find a way for wars to end before the end of the year. See, that brings up actually a question I would love to discuss with people. If you see someone who is missing out on opportunities that they have, right? They have this opportunity in front of them that they don't see, right? They don't see the value in the antique. They don't see the resource in the land. They don't see what's within them, in their possession, in their opportunity, right? If you see someone who is not seeing what they've got, I feel you should help them to see the opportunities, right? So at least they know, so they consciously know. It could be that they're aware of the opportunity already and they see something that I don't. But I see that Donald Trump has these opportunities. Donald Trump has opportunities to create peace, to help lead America. And America can lead the world into peace and reforms. But I don't think Donald Trump sees those things. I do. And I'm actually pretty confident that not just him, the other folks in Congress would probably want to hear what I mean. Because if this opportunity was given to you, right? Pretending you're one of them or pretending you're you, right? If this opportunity was brought before you, the idea of, hey, no bullshit, let's unite together for the purposes of ending the wars and ending this economic disparity nonsense, right? Letting truth be righteous, right? And give a damn about the truth more than the profits and the debts. We focus on what is righteous, what is justice. See, righteousness and justice, those in true fashion are done with love. For without love, it is not righteous, it is not just. And we live in a world that is pay to play. We've got men and women in prisons while shareholders are making money, right? Off of the, the, the people paid to keep people in cages and just keep them sustained and alive just so they can continue this. The world of America is so ready for transformation. And brothers and sisters, if you can join with me in this idea, allow your love to be shared, right? Allow your love of life, not just for your family, not just for your friends, not just for the things you approve of, but allow your love of life to be like worldwide, so that you just so that love is all that's there. And then if you expand how much you love, where are you going wrong, right? I mean, it's not like you're doing anything wrong if you're loving more, if you're forgiving more, if you're finding more reasons to be grateful, more reasons to be kind, more reasons to be generous, right? If you're doing those things, won't it won't it make for a better world for us all? Oh, you know what? Mr. Vibe. Mr. Vibe on YouTube. I frigging I have so much respect for you. And I realize you were honest. And yeah, I know I come across as a bizarre dude. Sometimes it's sometimes I can understand it to be very challenging to get to see what I'm trying to point at with my words and my the way I talk sometimes. But you know what? I was thinking about you, and I have given a poor impression of me, not just to you, but to many others. And I truly do. My prayer, I here's the reality. On this thumbnail with this glorious Talcott Tuesday and images of crosses, I thought, you know what, Jack, are you really gonna go that far? Are you really gonna push that, to that way? I said, yep, fuck it. Why not? I'm gonna roll with what I have, and what I have in front of me is fun. And I trust God created life for us to have fun as we learn and grow individually, so apart and together. But a big part of life and growing up is you got to learn how to play well with others. That's not a joke, right? Sometimes it's challenging, but something I realized about myself when I had a tough time playing well with others, there's something inside of me that was preventing it. And then my friend Illumitami just popped into my head. There's something within me that reacts and gets frustrated instead of, recognizing that all of us, you and me, all of us, we're just big kids, right? The reality is, all of us, we just want to be held, right? Just, just held tight, told it'll be all right. You're gonna be okay. We all want to be encouraged. We all want to be accepted. We all want to feel trusted and appreciated, right? That's within all of us. All of those things are qualities of love, because love is who we are, baby. Love is who we are, all of us. We just got lost and confused, but by the grace of God, and it is coming up Christmas time, so why not? Why couldn't God just allow it to happen? Whether December 25th has any connection whatsoever to Yeshua or Jesus or whatever it is, right? If it had any connection at all in the past or not, who cares, right? Because our God can do anything, and we do not know the day or the hour, but we do know that the return of God's love, it is coming there. For it is here and with us all. It's the realization. There's so many people before me who knew these things, who came across these ideas that I'm trying to express with you. So many people throughout time have recognized the divinity, the holiness, the perfection of love. The purpose of life is to be divine, to be with the divine. There is nothing more divine than love, true love. For it is love that reveals all things. No things are hidden with love, but, well, love brings mysteries for sure. Let me not presume to know too many things or to pretend like I know too many things. I don't mean to come across that way. I do know a little bit about a lot of different things, and there's a lot of things that I understand better than I can explain. But I know there's other people who can explain what I know much better than me. And this is what I realized in life, guys. Yeah, my friend, yes. We are all love, and this shit is so realistic, right? The material body, it feels so real, right? It's all raw, gotta fight, gotta live, gotta eat, gotta bullshit, dude. You just gotta breathe and be, baby. Anything beyond that is just made up ideas we find inside of ourselves. But anything that we find within us or around us, it really is from God, man. Snafu Crew Strike Team. Does Illumitami consider you a friend, Jack, or was that a lie on your part? I'm not sure the context of that question, but I know at one point Illumitami said he felt me as a friend. He saw me as a friend, and then I did something to break his trust. And he's been disappointed and frustrated in me ever since. Now, I see Tommy as a friend. I see him as a guy who could use a friend too. Because he is a good friend. He's like I used to be, probably. I don't remember being as bitchy and angry as that, but I know that Jack can be bitchy and angry. So I can't really judge another reflection of me. Is this real life? Well, what is real, man? Is this real? If this is real, then why do we have a society with so much wealth inequality, so much anger and confusion? If this is real, why is Donald Trump? Why? Why? Why is the world the way that it is if this is real life, right? It's as real as it gets for now. Um, Holy cows, man. Snafu, that's you, dude. That is so you. You've got to look at you before you keep describing others you see. It's so funny. Um, this day we are having. We both know why you. It's Mr. Strike Team, I think. Snafu. You're gonna do something versus say same things you say every show. Snafu, you are so fascinating, dude. I mean, yeah, it's Snafu needs to check himself. He makes so many claims and he provides so little evidence. I mean, he says things are evidence and facts, but they're just made up stories. How has he shown you he is your friend, Jack? Consistent attention. Now, consistent attention from the eyes of Tommy, he would view me as an enemy. And therefore, an enemy must, you got to watch your enemy. You got to pay attention. You got to be ready to attack and defend, right? That's all part of the game. I don't have any enemies, but I do love the attention. And Tommy, even when he's angry, dude, he's so funny sometimes. Except when he crosses the line and he's so offensive. He's clearly both. He's offensive and hilarious. I mean, but that's what love really is too sometimes. Love can be offensive. It comes in ways we're not expecting it, comes from people and things we're not thinking are going to show us any love. That's why I think in the scripture, especially what Jesus said, love your enemy, love them, love them. They want you to walk a mile, walk two, right? Give them your coat, whatever. Give it, give it away. Don't carry grudges. No reason to be resistant or vengeful, no reason to be angry or bitter. I mean, you can find reasons for anything, but those are excuses. I mean, there's really no difference between an excuse or a reason. It's just perspective or weight or value. I mean, that's something I've debated in my own head. At which point is it an excuse? At which point is it a reason? Yeah, Sawyer Stash, there's something to be said. I understand this, and there's truth in what you're saying. There are many people who think Jack Talcott's broadcast is a skit because I entertain and I advertise folks like Tommy and Snafu and folks who have greater followings. They're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that nonsense. And the few times I've gotten a little attention, you know, I've done things, I guess, to push them away too. Like our friend, and I mean, not, yeah, movers and shakers in the YouTube realm. It's the, Anton Daniels. Um, he's one who truly comes to mind because we had his attention for a little bit and then pushed him away. But there's others too that are just escaping my mind today. I'm having holy cows. I'm having an amazing time. Missing link Jesse. From what I understood, they chose to step back. He and Angeline, perhaps together or apart, they chose to step back and refocus on living. I've seen Jesse pop through on occasion, and I know he's been doing some things. So um, life has a way of working things, man. Happy holidays. Okay, so what was I thinking about today? Is your love withheld or shared more often? Consider what the costs might be and ask yourself, do yourself like a little mental exercise and preferably maybe with pen and paper. Sometimes that helps things be. But ask yourself, What are the costs of withholding love? And where might your love be withheld? Where do you find resistance within yourself from being generous with your love, trusting with your love, open with your love? Where do you have these wounds and maybe scars within you got to face? Because the cost of withholding love, it defies nature, it defies God's order, right? You cannot claim to love God and hate your neighbor. Does not compute. It's a contradiction. Okay. There's no separation. If you're gonna love, if you're gonna claim to love God, you must love your neighbor. If you're gonna love your neighbor, well, love God for your neighbor, right? That's kind of the goal, kind of the idea. Just love everything. Love. Golly geez, I never in my life thought I'd be talking this crap, saying these words. I never. God, I was such an angry little bitch. Oh, praise God. I wasn't. I was such a precious little boy. It just got lost along my way, man. I found these patterns of anger, right? Gotta be tough to keep people away from me. Because as long as people stay away from me, well, they can't hurt me and I can't hurt them. Man, the games we can play within our minds, within our heads, brothers and sisters, the stories we tell ourselves, they are so important to reevaluate, right? Maybe that's the first place to start. You really want to interrupt the stories, to let the stories go so that you can flow, to be one with the experience of you as you are in the present. For it is in the present, right? In the first person of the presence is the Lord, right? God is with the gift of the moment in the present. God is with the breath that breathes you. So just be still with that, with the breath that breathes you in the moment that you are. And you can detach from the entire universe, the entire world. You got no control over it anyway, right? So if you just be with your breath and be with the present moment of being here in the moment, and you detach from the universe, and the universe is happening. You can hear things and you can sense things and you know things are happening around you and within you. But what does it mean? It doesn't matter if all you are is just aware, right? And if you're just with awareness and with the breathing and with the being in the moment and you're detached, well, just feel good and then move forward with life and be with that practice of presence, being in the moment of now, alive and aware of your aliveness and alive your awareness, right? It's the path of enlightenment that all of us are here to grow into, expanding our consciousness. And here's another seeker of wisdom who is joining me, and I am glad for the company. Welcome back, brother. Frank Monday, how are you?
Doing well, Jack. We three kings of Orient are bearing gifts. We traverse afar, westward leading, still proceeding, following yonder star. I got to ask you, Jack, what's your favorite Christmas carol?
Uh, Maybe the silence in between them?
You devilish man, you. How dare you? Yeah, it's good magic, man. I could appreciate it.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because when that question came up, there was a lot of mixed memories. I remember hating many of them and loving a couple of them, but I was pretty bah humbug most of my life when it came to the Christmas time, dude.
For a lot of people, it is. You know, I feel that. I feel that because it's a tough time. You know, it's like the world programs you to get out there and engage in consumerism and spend more and think about family lost and stuff. It really can be hard for people.
Yes, because we've been conditioned with reminders of grief and feel sadness of loss. And so we connect all these dots, and we do. We feel sadness when we could be celebrating. But another part of the bah humbug for me was I was a cheap bastard, right? I didn't want to spend money. And if I had to spend money, well, and I knew there was ways for me to not to spend money, but that would cost me my time. And I didn't want to waste my time trying to figure out gifts and presents for people. So I'd much rather just go spend my money and be done with it. And that pissed me off because I worked hard for my money, man. I didn't want to spend it, but I wanted to spoil those I cared about. So I had these contradictions. And then for much of my adult life, right? 22 years at the Postal Service, Christmas time at the post office, you know what? Those mailmen and women, those clerks, those guys bust their asses, man. They work. Most of them truly care.
Yeah, I can imagine that's just madness at the post office. And that was like the only way it was really getting done back then. I mean, that was kind of it, somehow prior to UPS like taking over, right? And FedEx, or was kind of together.
There's an interesting story there. I mean, it's kind of funny. I looked into the history of the Postal Service when I was an employee at the Postal Service. And it's interesting how intertwined the agency was with the development of America. It helped fund the commercial airlines. It helped develop the infrastructure of the rural routes and the highways. Um, it's actually a pretty cool part of history. But then in the 70s, they changed it. And then 2000 something, 2006, I think, they changed the rules again and started treating the Postal Service like a cash cow for Congress, taking billions of dollars from the customers and from the employees is who it was taken from.
And that's kind of what destroyed it as a system, right? And allowed for the other more privatized industries to kind of take over that space.
Yep. It's a common tactic that's been used over and over. I mean, if you look at I don't remember the term for it, the corporate hostility when one corporation takes over another, it's just it makes sense. It's all logical. It's all for the purposes of exploitation. But the point is, a tactic they've been using with the government agencies. You defund them, you overregulate them, and then they start crumbling on their own because they can't sustain themselves without the proper funding or without the proper freedom. So that's what they've been doing with the United States Postal Service. It's what it looked like they did with, although that was the Obama thing, the healthcare thing, but that was kind of a scam too for the insurance agencies. It's all crap.
It is. It's just like one scam after another. They seem to they borrow the public money, debt against the people, and then they build these industries. Then they sell them out to their buddies in private industries, and then destroy the ones that were built by the public. Same playing out with the R&D, right? The research and development of all of these things in the tech sphere came from public funding. Now they're privatized and benefiting guys like Musk. You know.
Exactly, dude. It's crazy how corrupted the system is, and it looks like on the shell, it looks like it makes sense. But once you start looking into the details of the corporate structure and the trust and the banking and all of this, it's like, wait a minute. Come on now. This is just a bunch of silly nonsense. And this is what I want to help the people in Congress realize, that the games they're playing along with, the games they're enabling with Donald Trump and that current warmonger Hegseth, um, there's real life consequences to these sick games, and I don't think they realize what they're doing. They're not they're not seeing the bigger picture.
I don't know. That seems like that's a little bit maybe naive on your part because they've been at it for such a long time and they're all dirty birds and in it together. I mean, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, what she's worth 150 million now on $200,000 a year. It's kind of a bananas game. I mean, is there even one among them? I mean, if it was what the Lord Sodom and Gomorrah, right? would you be able to find even one? That's my question.
Frank, that's exactly what I'm hoping to find. I'm wanting to, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing, I'm remembering, yeah, I could have done more, and I still can do more, and I probably will do more until this shit gets done. But yeah, I want to search and I want to find the ones who are, because I do believe there's got to be a crack, there's got to be a way, and it's not unreasonable, because what I'm talking about is righteous, honorable, it's honest, it's supported by facts, it's supported by evidence. I believe there is a way. Initially, I thought Bernie Sanders could be a great path in. Um, Casio, the other names, I hadn't paid a lot of attention. I gave up paying attention to a lot of them, to be honest. But I know that Bernie Sanders has been pretty consistent for about 30 something years. You know, trying to stand up to the oligarch and the corporations. And, you know, he's not perfect, but his peers aren't listening to him. And that's what I want to do. I'd love to get in there and stand next to Sanders and give him a little support, see if we can get the attention of his fellow peers in Congress.
Yeah, it seems like he's gone quiet recently. Has he? Maybe he's been silenced. I don't know. It seems like anybody who opposes them gets kind of quieted down. No, he's still active.
Yeah. It's been a few days, but I follow, he's got a YouTube channel and they share some of his comments either at the house or wherever. Um, yeah. But things are happening. We're at this time. I mean, this stuff that's going on in Israel, it's evidence. It's evidence that things are wrong in this world, and it's not just in Israel. I mean, we've got severe famines, people suffering with severe famines, severe problems, right? Not just in Gaza, in Sudan, in Ukraine, in many other places. There's floods happening, right? There's natural disasters. The weather is changing. It's like, guys, what are we doing? We do not have to live in a world that is so cold hearted. People don't have to
Yeah,
be that way.
I'm sure you heard the announcement by President Trump this morning. I guess it was or yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu, and that the U.S. is claiming ownership of Gaza. It wasn't that weird.
I heard I've heard a few things Donald Trump has said recently, and someone needs to check him. He needs to be he needs to be called out. on the shit he's saying, the shit he's doing, he's failing. The entire United States government is failing. Well, it's succeeding. It's succeeding. The government is succeeding in its purpose. The government has the illusion of protecting our freedoms, but the reality is, in its current state, the government is at war against yours and my freedoms. And the different governments, while it looks like they have enemies against each other, they don't. Every state enables every state, just like people, just like corporations, just like, I mean, it's all intertwined. Guys, when we wake up, when God allows humanity to wake up, there will be no more space or time for evil to prevail here on earth. Oh my God, you are hilarious, whoever you are, accusing me of clueless. You're welcome to click the link and see what is true.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Real Lolo, yeah. Panel up and tell us your mind. You've been around long enough that you've seen many transitions through geopolitics. You born at or around the time of the Vietnam War, right? And so you had family members, cousins and stuff, and uncles coming back from that. And it wasn't that far off from the Korean conflict, which my dad was in and in World War II. And so you've been seeing the geopolitics play out and read the histories and know what's going on. There's nothing new under the sun, as King Solomon would say. They just continue to loop. I mean, you just pointed out a moment ago one of the all-time looping business models of using public funding to build up these entities and then selling them off to crony capitalists. It's a system of enslavement that continues to play out worldwide. I mean, that's a pretty solid handle on geopolitics. They're absolutely all in bed together.
It is. And it makes perfect sense, though, too. I mean, I've seen enough to understand how we got here. Maybe I'm imperfect with the dates and the details. I've forgotten a lot of the details, to be honest, but it doesn't change what I've learned. And I know where I can go back to confirm or refresh my mind on the dates and the details. But it all makes sense that we are this, we are the continuation of the story of God's continuation, God's creation. We are the light that was sent here into the world to overcome the darkness. But people in the darkness have been confused by the light. They thought it was fearful. It frightened them. Many people have found fear of me or whatever. They found excuses, reasons to avoid me. It's hilarious. Tarek, my brother, I love how you ask questions. Thank you for your continuing generosity and support. Jack, Snafu was bad-mouthing you, Drexty, and calling Salted Cedar names. Jack, my question, why give him a wrench? Just wondering. That is an excellent question, Tarek. It really is. Snafu's calling me names over at OTW. That'd be perfect, man. Why did I give him a wrench? It was an act of peace, right? It was an olive branch. It was trying to show a sign of respect with the condition he not abuse his wrench, but he has. You know what? Actually, you son of a gun, I'm taking the mod away again. Now, for the other mods, please don't abuse Snafu. But
Yeah, give him a little room to hang himself. He's kind of an interesting fellow. I've tried to talk to him a couple of times here recently, and it just does. It seems like he's like a dog with a bone. He's got an angle, and he does. There's no way he can't be swayed from it, and he won't even contemplate the any counter argument. Right?
not yet, but he will. Here,
Mm.
we've got a guest in the back, and I'm not sure. Lolo,
Hi,
let
how
me
are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm feeling blessed. I
Excellent. I'm responding to your invitation to, and I'm not the expert, but I think I have a little more context that you seem to be missing, which, because I watch your show from time to time, I don't catch it all the time. And I feel like there's many areas where we might agree, but um, I do I mean, my own personal observation is there's a lot of looping and there's a lot of indulgence of incels and incel behavior for clicks and views. Where I hope people who are really serious about what their work is would do also the diligence. And that's kind of what led me to make the comments that I made, which is there are definitely geopolitical issues. And certainly you've hit on a lot of them. There's just also there's such a wealth of information out there about how we got where we are, and I have no answers about how we get out of it. I share the same desires you do for world peace and for uplifting people, but I get a little frustrated coming into this chat, and that's my choice. Just hearing that we don't I don't necessarily hear like actual facts, and not just from you, Jack. I'm talking about panels. So anyway, that's my opinion, and I thought I'd share it. And I'm happy to answer a question or two, or to get the fuck out.
No, I do appreciate it. Um, the solution I have, it may appear broad, but if he really, I mean, we can flush it out in many ways. What I see is we end the secrecy. Our governments and our corporations, they don't need to have secrets against the taxpayers and the consumers or the employees or any of the other nations, right? If we end the legal secrecy, we will at the same time it'll confront this BS nonsense of wealth and authority, right? Where it's been
Mhm.
given this sort of supreme rulership, ownership here in the world. It's fabricated nonsense. The entire worldwide international banking scheme, that's what it's a scheme.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think it's more complicated than that, though, because for a couple of observations I would make is that I think you talk about tech bros sometimes, but I think that what I hear from this chat is it's underestimated just how deeply Peter Thiel, David Sachs, Mark Andreessen, Elmo, whoever, Palantir, what's his name, Anderl, whatever, Palmer Luckey, who happens to be Matt Gates' brother-in-law. I mean, there's just a lot of deeply embedded how we got here is based on the manipulation of the donor class, right? And so
Yes,
it's more than just the bankers, because
yes,
it's not that we have to move past that into specific accountability and transparency, as you've said, radical transparency. I believe, I was frustrated when we didn't, because I've been researching and I know what this administration was going to do, and God damn it, they've done it times 10, and they're
hmm
not stopping. Um,
no,
and so it's a huge conundrum. And but there are, the wars that are being started in our names, um, the extrajudicial judicial killings, the illegal acts of kidnapping people off the street. This is not normal, and this is not productive. As well as the economics. If I do a show every morning about politics, and we watch Congress, and so I'm pretty deep in this shit, and I think that there's a lot to unpack, and the relationships that we may look on and take for granted are very significant in terms of Peter Thiel, JD Vance. They co-founded Rumble. JD Vance is Peter's boy. He is destined to be the next president, because the goal is this: they want to control, they being billionaires, they want to act with impunity, so eliminate regulations, just like Elmo's doing in Memphis with his Grope campus. And they want to eliminate taxes, which they've done a great job with the big ugly bill. They've, got into, I could go on, and I'm sorry, I don't want to, because this is your show. But these are the types of things that they deserve a deeper conversation and dives, if that's where you want to go with it. If you want to stay on the spiritual plane and talk about people's resilience, I'm all for it. But I get a little frustrated that we indulge the fantasies and skim over the surface. Anyway, I'm going to shut up, and I'm probably going to go down. But yeah, thank you for hearing me out.
Lolo, please. Thank you. You are a gift. Okay. And I respect what you said. There's a reason our paths crossed. Everything you said, yeah, I recognize this seriousness that is this relationship between Peter Thiel and Palantir and Vance and Russia and Ukraine and Israel and everywhere else. Oh, yeah, the United Arab Emirates. And it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of pieces involved. And Lolo, it sounds like you know more of the names, more of the details than I do, or maybe different details than I do for sure. But
Yeah,
what if?
Yeah.
I know people criticize me for this what if, but what if is in the realm of imagination, and that's how we find different perspectives. I actually think it's possible we are here to experience the change of the world, to bring in the new kingdom of peace and reform.
Okay, well, I'm an atheist, so that's I kind of just like that's a non-starter for me. However, I do believe that I will, as someone who is older, I won't be here necessarily for the Great Revolution. I believe young people are going to lead us into a world that is kinder, and that does see the end of capitalism as a system.
Yeah.
I think that is inevitable, and I do think these oligarchs and broligarchs are going to be overturned, or kind of thrown over, because frankly, god damn it, everybody ends up on a wall. Okay, fucking Mussolini didn't think he was going to be touched either. He ended up on a wall. Yes, Tommy is very upset with me. He thinks whatever. I don't know what I don't think he likes women. I'm pretty sure. He is the definition of incel. I'm going to be honest. Him and Truther Cop, Golden Renaissance. I know Golden Renaissance from way back when. Trust me, that kid's a piece of work. He's a fucking trust fund baby that doesn't know shit. He wouldn't survive 2 minutes out in the wild. Anyway, I think I've said enough. All right. Thanks, Jack. Have a great day.
I am so grateful you swung through. Sincerely.
I'm actually shocked that I swung through, but it's a Christmas miracle.
Please. I know you mentioned atheist, but don't deny possibilities, right? Because you can exclude the idea of God, but it's easier if you have faith in God. That's for sure.
Yeah, you didn't seem totally convinced of that, because you did say,
No,
God
babe.
damn it. So You're on the
Exactly.
fence.
Damn it. You're right. I do invoke the name of Christ. Well, I'm a Catholic from way back when. I've been a Methodist, baby. I've been it all. But
All right.
I'm just not there yet for a host of reasons, and I think pretty well thought through. I'm not too concerned about my well thoughtness around around spirituality and the power of religion and what organized religion in particular does. That's another kind of baby criticism I have of you, Jack, is that you want to be this image of Christ and Christ-like, etc., which is fine, except for you've done zero research, it seems, on what all of that is. You've done a lot to I again, this is my criticism, so it's you can throw it away. But it's a little loose, right? Like that's part of the looping thing too. And again, people can come on my show and tell me that I loop and I do whatever. So I'm gonna expect the same treatment. But that's just kind of like my silly retort back to you.
Well, it's a bit of a shallow take, and I think that he opens a broad enough ground that he can attract more than just Christians.
Okay, all right. Well,
Thank
he attracts me as a critic, I guess. Does that count?
Seems to.
It works. It's
Gotcha.
it's a step in. It is a step in. Hey, you're real Lolo in the
Yes.
chat, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
my
not-
YouTube channel. Anyway, no, I'm not promoting it because frankly, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to keep it 100. I know your chat to a certain degree. They're not part of my world. Now, they're certainly welcome to come and listen, but if they come in with half the bullshit they come in your chat, they're fucking out of there. I don't have time for that shit. People are dying. I read a huge story this morning about Congolese rape victims who are dying by the hundreds because of lack of PEP kits. So fuck all these incels with their stupid navel gazing. Fuck you. Do something. Do something. Anyway, because I get in a dinosaur suit and I go out and I protest and I get shot in the back by ICE agents. So you know what? Get off your fucking ass and do something. There you go. All right, I'm going to leave now. Thank you so much, Jack. I'm going to enjoy the rest of your show. Bye, guys.
Hey, truly, I do appreciate you joining. I encourage everyone, though, please don't be so resistant to the idea of solutions. It's easy to reject because it's unlike things of the past, but especially if you can believe that you're a part of the solution, if we can collectively and individually become a part of the solution, then guess what? The world changes.
Yeah, and sometimes people get too smart for their own good. They over intellectualize things and they love complexity. And sometimes there are easy answers, but people just don't want to see them.
Well, that's part of our design. Our poll, absolutely. Real Lolo, very, very polite, very respectful. I understand, but please consider it might just be the verbiage, because you can understand the logic of fairness. Most people can. Most people can understand and recognize the idea and the logic behind fairness and transparency, honesty, right? Little generosity. When one has blessings and an abundance, it's actually pretty easy to share. But we live in a society where, due to the government and legal structure, all the regulations and rules, it's criminal. It's as Jesus said, right? The world it rewards the devil in some ways.
Well, that brings up the big question too. Like she said, they want to do these things, but they're already doing them. It's not something they want to do. It's something they've been perpetrating against us since day one. So like that would essentially lead to the question, what's the crack you're thinking about? Like what's the break? Everyone, they're predicting the future coming of a coming time of peace and kindness from the younger generation. Has that ever played out?
Not yet. Well, not to the wholeness, not to the fullness, but We are the current time. We're what is happening. The past is just the foundation. We are just reflections of the past. The past doesn't hold us back. It doesn't limit us. It doesn't control us. What we can do, what I've been training myself to do, right? Retraining my own inner mind, interrupting my patterns of thought. All of us are capable of this. I believe. I believe everyone is capable of interrupting their own patterns of thought, reprogramming their ideals and personalities. It's simple. It's simple. God created this perfect existence, and the path of enlightenment is so simple. It confuses the confused. I'm telling you.
It's interesting to me too, like the language, the combative language, and the accusations. Like she says, I have no clue what I'm saying, but I do have a clue as to what I'm saying. I've built a daily pattern of service to the Lord and trying to be a better part of my community and stuff. And I don't launch into conversation with, like invectives of, someone's like classifying people as incels or putting them in boxes. I'm an atheist. I try to steer more towards E-prime language and look what things seem to be and how they appear, and then try to make them malleable enough that they can be changed. So these absolute fixations on like being hurtful, I mean, that's not kindness. That's the opposite. So anyway, it's neither here nor there.
It can be. I mean, this is something truly I've been learning it firsthand in my experience, especially online. It's it's important for us to improve in our own abilities to communicate. Communication has been lost in this world, right? It's because people have chosen to withhold their love instead of sharing kindness or acceptance, a little curiosity and appreciation. Instead of those things, we tend to generalize, group people into one identity, right? Sum people up real quick and come to a conclusion about what the totality of their being might represent. But the names, right? The names and identities, all these labels that people get hung up on, they're not as real or as important as what is really shown. The fruits of each of us. It's how we interact with each other, how we interact with the world. We're of nature, right? Just like the plants and the animals, there's a nature and a quality to us, but the fruits of who we are, it comes through our creativity, through our words, through our deeds, who we are. If we choose to be absent from God, absent from love, real Lolo, yes. Words are tools. Words are the tools we rely on greatly to express what we think. But oftentimes words don't do justice, right? Oftentimes there's a disconnect between our mind and our mouth, or there's a disconnect between, the receiver. Maybe we offer the right words, but the receiver has a different interpretation or meaning. Words are important because the words we choose to go ahead, Frank.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, they are. They're super important. And like, it's important to be honest and truthful with people, but it's also important to avoid being injurious unnecessarily because language, it actively shapes our neurological pathways and connects us with our paradigms. And paradigms are fixed states. You can't be so stuck in your trenches that you can't have a gestalt shift and see something from a different perspective. And it's one of the things I've mastered. It's like I would be willing to hear her perspective and shift my opinion, definitely, but I haven't researched that field just because it's not useful to my daily life. It never has been.
Um, Words and the power of words. That's a science and a history and a topic in itself. And I've seen you are a man devoted to good word, right? Good magic. You recognize the power of words. They create, they destroy, they summon, they repel. Um, this question from Phoenix Fox: what do you do about the people who choose to do bad in this world? There are many. As far as I can see, that has always been happening. We will always choose one way or another. How do you overcome what has always been? That is the great question. It's the recognition that things are not always as they seem, and that which may have always been might not have always been. See, if we open up just a little bit of room in the mind and in the ideas, then we create room for change. And if we can create room for change, then we create the opportunity to overcome what has always been, right? Because we're here to explore what has never been. That's what the future is. It's never been before. And we're here to create, to discover, to imagine, to grow into this future, right? For mankind here on Earth. And if we don't do something to interrupt the sick games being played on the international stages, well, mankind is heading towards an extinction. But I don't believe that's God's plans for us. Back to the question from Phoenix Fox, though. If it's not just me, if it's we, what might we do about the people who choose to do bad in this world? I've really given this a lot of thought, and truly, evil can only exist if it is enabled, right? It must be enabled by people who know. It can't just be committed without witness. Perhaps, but nothing hidden shall remain hidden. This is another truth of the unfolding of the nature of our reality. God is so glorious, man. So what do we do about the people who choose to do bad in this world? We confront them together with peace, with the purpose of love and compassion, the goal of correction, right? We create an intervention with the people who choose to do bad. And we show them how to do better.
Yeah, and we do enough good and shine enough light that there are no shadows for them to hide in any longer. Somehow it has to start day to day. Every day we get up and we work towards being the living word. We live lives of goodness and righteousness and don't allow the shadows to creep into our own lives as well.
This life, man. Fucking snafu, man. Where's your family that disowned you, Jack, doing for the holidays? Not with you. No, they're not. Hey, though, today is one of my best friends' birthdays. Marty Van Ho, happy birthday to you. If and when you hear these words. Showing them how to do better doesn't resolve the wrong done. You didn't answer the question. Doesn't resolve the wrong done. Well, actually, this is something that Snafu has done a show about as well. The idea of restorative justice, bringing the community in for the corrective actions when there is a crime, when there is a harm and a damage. But it comes down to, rather than relying on the court systems and the authorities and the profit for the prison for profit system, rather than relying on that crap, we actually work together. And people in a community would be far more willing to work together if they weren't such slaves to their paychecks, right? To their employers, the boss's schedule. People have sold their freedom and their liberty in many ways just for the comfort of a paycheck. But when we start transforming the value system of society, there won't be as many people who choose to do bad. There'll be more of the rarity, more of the exception, rather than what people believe is the norm.
Yeah, true facts. And in the I Ching, the Book of Changes, it's a Chinese book of divination anyway, it says that in the times of greatest darkness, the best way to overcome the darkness is through gradual change by teaching the youth. And so how did we get into the situation that we're in now? It was by the youth being mistaught, right? And continuing the pattern of enslavement by being taught to do so. Like I work as an educator, I'm in the high school level right now. And one of the things is when I'm going through the texts and the material with the students, I try to let them bring their light to it and say, hey, you know, what is wrong with these paradigms, these systems of thinking? Where are the anomalies? Where's the crisis? And where's the coming revolution that your lives will bring about? And so I reinforce that spirit of seeking spirit in a sense, which I can't necessarily do in a overtly atheist country. I have to do it in a subtle way, but that's how I'm working towards revealing spirit in the world again.
We are. I believe we are the tools for this. Stopping the evil and bad is like trying to stop the night from coming. Not possible. But as the night comes, so does the light of day. So live your life and be an example. Just my opinion. And I agree with you in many ways. The example I hope to be is I hope to be one who walks in the way, follows the way of Jesus, right? As he lived to glorify the Father. So for those who choose to believe in Jesus, well, you should certainly be believing in the Father who sent him, for he was one with the Father who sent him. And if we unite with the Father who sent us and him as he united, which was his prayer for all of us was that we unite with the Father as he united with the Father, and we be with him as he was with the Father when he was here. It's what he said, right? So I'm not twisting the words from the Bible. I'm actually suggesting it's very likely that God could be using us to bring the light, that we are the light, as Jesus was, we are. We are follow the way of him, his way of being with truth and gladness, faith, confidence, generosity, willing to give it all for God and God's love. I mean, it takes time to grow in those things, but we can all do that, especially when we unite together. And if we unite together, I believe that what God has planned is for mankind to experience this victory, right? The return of Jesus is the return of the heart of God. The love of God will be restored into the world. And when God's love is restored here in the world, well, wealth and authority, the only authority that will be is God's truth, for the truth reigns supreme. And then we follow the truth with love, leading our way, compassion, guiding us forward. It just seems so perfect, doesn't it? Blathering, they say. Golly jeez. This is heresy, they say. I did start early today, for sure. I got plans later. It's Talcott Tuesday, and Talcott's got plans this Tuesday night, so I'm doing my thing.
Do you want to share your plans? Because it's 'tis the season to be jolly. Are you doing any festivities or just something private, perhaps?
I'm gonna go hit the bar, go people watch and enjoy. I've been invited. I'm not going alone. I'm going with others. So someone shared earlier that I should check this out. It looks like this is from our friend Illumitami. Did I pin that? There it was. I think you should address this video, Jack. Let's see what this is. Jack Talcott makes solid case for taking Jack Talcott off panels. I could go get a job or whatever, but let's see. I have no college degree, so there's one block against me. And then I've got a gap of employment with an unexplained termination from a 28.5 year federal career. So then there's unexplained doubts I got to face. So even if I go get a job, I got to find approval from another human being. That means I got to find a human being to cooperate with me. Not only to cooperate with me, but so I can receive something. No, Margot, that's not the path for me. God has allowed me to learn things that are quite different than many others have learned, and yet it's still the same old things. I have no thing. All I can offer to anyone is me. I think there's a lot of people online on these panels that should be taken off and put into a program, to help get them some more skills and purpose.
Or put into
Yeah, people oftentimes they don't like it when they see a man break free from the mechanized system, and somehow you figured out part of the equation to live a more enriching life in the pursuit of God and the message of love and the thing you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of haters and naysayers, Jack. And some of them are very articulate in the ways of deception and very cruel and uncaring in the way they talk to people. You got to be wary of that because words are powerful. And yeah, I didn't see anything there that vilified you. I just saw a man speaking his heart.
Tom. Yep, gloss right over. Well, the thing is this is my path. I fought my path, but the reality is when I lost my opportunity to earn, it crushed me, man, emotionally. I was defeated. I was broken again because since I was 13, I've been working, right? And that's how you show your worth. If you're not earning, you don't have any value. So when I lost my career and my opportunity to earn, I had to reevaluate me. What is a different path for me? Right? If the postal service carrot is no longer available to me, well, I've got to change a different direction. A little late in life, after 20 something years, but I figured, well, time to do whatever I can. And so I started looking into what could I do? Well, my path through alcoholism and recovery, I recognized, and my time as a shop steward and a union leader, I recognized my ability to listen, to counsel others, to understand their problems, and to help them find a solution. So I thought, well, how can I do that? I didn't want to go back to college and go through the rigmarole of being a licensed therapist or whatever. So I did. I focused primarily on the folks who I knew. AA meetings, alcoholics, started going to the bars, looking for people who might want to change their lives. See, the idea of self-development, it's nothing new. It's been known throughout time. Um,
Yeah, and people want to break free from chronic alcoholism because it's a very poisonous, toxic, and debilitating thing, and it only ends in death, and an early death at that. So, anyone you can help get off the bottle is definitely.
right.
And back to college, you were laughing about that. Have you done some time in college?
I tried going to college when I was in when I was stationed at Fort Lewis. Um, I tried going back to school, and I hated it. I hated college so much. But I took English, the classes that I didn't really enjoy, and it was typical of my high school years. I put everything off till the last minute. It was easy for me. I floated through, but I didn't enjoy it. So yeah, Tom, I tried going to college, and I did not enjoy the structure or how slow it was.
That's interesting, but you were able to survive military. You did army, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. I didn't think my thoughts through, man. At the time, I was more interested in earning more, right? Because instead of going to college when I was at Fort Lewis, after I tried doing that and I didn't enjoy it, I went through a semester, a couple of them, I don't know, and then I became a bartender.
Oh, that's
So I
nice.
bartend on the weekends, have a second source of income. And
Kind of a fun thing, right? Very social. I've tended bar a few times.
it's where I met my son's mother. I met her when I was a bartender and she was a waitress. And then when I got out of the military, we moved to Spokane together.
Hmm.
I had a low opinion of I had an opinion. I had an attitude and an opinion towards college from a very young age. And my attitude and opinion towards college, it became my excuse for joining the army, right? The army is actually for dumb slaves, Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, it's far worse, right? I mean, you got zero freedom, no private life,
Oh my God, we give up everything for the opportunity to serve. It's like, holy shit, man. We
space
got
monkeys.
fooled, Murphy. The college kids were at least safe-ish, and having more fun.
Yeah, I was similar to you. I wanted to get out of school, but I ended up spending my entire life in school, university, and now teaching. So I've never left, and it was one of my greatest desires as a young man. But since I've adapted to it, I found that there's a lot of light in the schools, and it's an institution that's in a paradigm that has to be broken through. Because, like I was saying earlier, it trains the youth towards these systems of entrenchment. And if I can help break free a few minds along the way, then I'm doing my part for God's work.
That's the purpose. I didn't realize how important it is to be conscious, present, and to be a good influence, a good example. Because we truly do, we influence each other so much. And even if it's not consciously, there's energetic transfers that happen, right? We had discussions earlier about the power of words, the exchange of words, hearing words, sharing words. These words transmit energies, these frequencies. Those are powerful. Go ahead, Frank, if you got something.
No, yeah, I was just going to say you're right. It doesn't always have to be linguistic. In fact, that's the lowest level of energetic interaction. Establishing your patterns, moving your patterns, interrupting others' patterns. We will influence these systems, and it'll take a kind of unifying of like minded people that do commiserate and fellowship when they have time. And then, like, I go through most of my days in complete silence unless, I'm engaged in preparation and study and lesson planning and this kind of thing. And in fact, talking is like, it's one of my least strengths because I don't believe that it really conveys the heart of the being. That's moved through action and living and being the living word, not the talking word, not the doctrine and the dogma, which I find to be it misses the point because God's grace cannot be absolutely articulated through language.
No, it cannot. And I do not mean to laugh with that, with what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Tommy's funny. Please do panels in silence, Frank. Damn you, Tommy! I'm gonna come out to your tent and pee all over it.
You gotta, he cracks me up, man. He's so obnoxious and angry, man. Hey, this comment too from Nude Guru though. Obedience. It is the highest of fake virtue.
He's pop.
How what? What'd you say?
No, I didn't say anything. Take a note, Frank. Really wants you to notice the Norelco work that directs the penis. I don't know what that means. And I don't think it matters.
No. I was reflecting on this part though. The highest of fake virtues being obedience. That's what the masses have been conditioned with, to glorify the military, right? The Top Gun and all these Rambo movies and all this crap that great stuff that I grew up with, right? Glorifying war and combat as the answer for it all. It's crazy, man.
It is, and it's something we have to take account too for because, like, throughout my entire life and generations, they said, "Oh, the violent video games aren't effective. Violent movies, there's nothing wrong with it." But I think there's something seriously wrong with the pop culture when, like, Nicki Minaj is, saying that we should praise the assassin of the woman's widowed husband or whatever right on national television, and people are praising this kind of satanic decadence that. It really does need to be considered more seriously that the pop culture we consume becomes who we become in the future, and our society is now reflecting it, especially in Western civilization.
The evidence of the decline is, it cannot be denied anymore. The insanity. Why would anyone be obedient to Jack's tyrannical insanity? Followed up by Crew alleging that Jack won't let people up who hold him accountable. And that's actually not true. No more decline than this. Sorry, Frank.
What baffles me, no worries. What baffles me about a lot of these guys is they can't endure even a single moment of silence without running their motor mouths. And the people out there don't do that. They think they're articulate and eloquent and they've really got something to say because they've looped it in their mind so many times and they've said it 100 times already and they're going to say it 100 more. But that doesn't make it effective or thoughtful or anywhere near the truth or an answer to what's going on right now. But you do that, and I do it as well, and that's why I get cut off so often, because I want to take a moment to ponder and calculate my response and think about what's been said. And it's very hard to find that in this space.
Mhm. It's the anxiousness. Like you said, though, I've been battling it myself, trying to battle my own sense of anxiousness, the desire to interrupt, the desire to correct, to argue, to disagree. To truly share love, it's it's a matter of being present with love. That's all we have to do. When we can be present with love with one another, we can share we can find mutual understandings. And through mutual understandings, we can grow in peace. But Frank, I've had Snafu in the back for much of the stream. He's alleging this and that about me. He's not showing much willingness to find resolve.
No, and I'm sorry for a short descriptive, if I may. When I think of Snafu, I think of a 2-year-old in a dirty diaper banging his rattle, sucking on his pacifier, and yelling, "Jack, Jack, let me up! I've got something to say." And we all know what it's going to be, right? But no, he's a good guy, and he's working hard to do his own thing. But he does kind of present himself that way sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been frustrating, honestly. Phoenix Fox, I'm not sure what prompted that question. Did Jack or Frank actually claim any sort of spiritual authority over others in their lives? I mean, each of us, including Jack and Frank, we are allowed to have our honest perspectives and experiences, just like you and everyone else, but
No, and I'd say it's the exact opposite. In fact, that we very seldom we don't try. No, I don't. I've never seen you attempt to do that. You always defer to God in all that you think, say, and do, and that's the way to go. And it's the opposite of what she's saying. It's the others that try to dominate over us with their doctrine and dogma, and that's something that has always chafed my fucking hide. Because we don't need it. We're grown men. I mean, both of us are half a century. Together, we're 100 years old.
well, one thing as well is I know that I've devoted a great amount of time, energy, resources into growing in my, I won't call it authority, but truly one is an authority over what they know. And I've been studying saints and devotees of the past. I've been studying different philosophies. Frank has been studying many different things. Both spoke on other spiritual beliefs not being right or correct. And that might be true. There is a right and a correct with love, right? Righteousness is that which is correct. The correctness and righteousness of nature, it is with love. Absent from love, you find divisions, and the divisions bring forth hurt, and the hurt brings suffering. So when people are not aligned with love, they're kind of out of balance. That might be.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever taken that stance per se. It may have been some way in the way I encoded what I had said, but no, to each his own. I command no man to worship God in any particular way, and it's one of the great founding principles of the United States is freedom for religion. But that means that I also have my freedom to worship God in the way I want without being judged or chastised by others. And to finish up on that, I see you have something you want to address.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a huge difference. It's like all of the barking dogs, they're barking and they're barking and they're barking, but the one who walks quietly among them is a tiger. And they're very loud and they're barking and they're snarling, but the tiger is generally very quiet, and because there's no need to display it. There's a huge difference between tigers and barking dogs.
There is. Hey, Tommy was encouraged, and so he has taken the challenge. And I'm going to see, is Tommy able to bring up the gentle and calm?
It's not a challenge, Jack. It's just business.
Okay, which is the business you bring in, brother?
I mean, I only come up on any panel for flow state fiat because he's using my content to try and bank. And Tarek has shown in the past he sees through you, but he's still funding your not operation. And you guys are up here verbally sucking each other off, acting like nobody can hold a candle to your stuff when you don't allow it. And yes, Frank, we are free to judge you and chastise your stupid magic bullshit. And please be a
Would
tiger
you
more
crucify
often.
Moses and Solomon and Jesus? They were all magicians, so fuck.
No, they weren't. That's not true.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
No.
No, they weren't. Why would
The
Jesus
argument-
warn us of warlocks and witches and tell us not to
Oh
do
my
that stuff?
it's not that.
Goodness.
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, really? So you just don't, you're just not biblical.
Tom, it's not worth the argument,
It
sincerely.
is, because other people will hear and learn, and even, like I said,
Trex has
even
got your
real
number. Says you want
through.
fellatio.
Why didn't you answer her? I've asked you in the past, why claim a thing you don't really want to abide by? It would be like if I was like, dude, I'm so LGBTQ. And I'm like, it's all about straight dudes, fucking girls. And they'd be like, you're not LGBTQ. I'm like, yeah, it's all about straight dudes, fucking girls. They'd be like, why are you claiming that? If you just, why not you just say you're straight?
Notice how
and
the
fuck girls?
conversation just totally degenerated. Roof, roof, barking dogs.
Or it's just over your head, like my simple to the point short that went over your head.
It's a
Tom,
bastardization of
breath.
sexuality.
Let's
Tiger,
pause.
American incel.
Pause. Tom, pause and breathe. Breathe with silence.
Answer
Breathe.
me.
Breathe.
I'm gonna hold my breath till you answer what I.
So hold your breath, brother.
So you see, and he claims Christianity, but he's vilifying one of the most spiritual experiences between man and woman. To talk about sex flippantly and wishy-washy, it's a part of the problem. Words have powers. They're digging trenches where this type of continuation in perversity continues to have a place to reside. And I personally disagree with it. Sometimes I fall into it as well, but not very often. It's better to steer clear of it if you can. The vilification of sexuality between man and woman is a part of the problem in my mind.
I was given some thoughts to the idea of the energetic and the divine qualities of masculine and feminine. And truly there is a balance. There's a perfect order to the creation of all things. And the balance of the masculine and the feminine, you bring those two into divine harmony, and holy crap, magic happens. It happens within us internally when we align the positive and the negative. It's not a good or a bad. It's just like grounding or spirit elevating, right? The electric and the magnetic. We unite these these powers within us. In the society that we've been raised in and grown up with, and it's kind of the patriarch dominated, the masculine dominated society where the feminine has had to conform to the will of the masculine. And the will of the masculine so far has been to fight and possess and to control. And so we got women entering the workplace to fight, possess, and to control on their own because they want to be independent from the competitors, right? Because men and women are here to compete, not intertwine anymore. But the reality is, if the script is reversed, and this might offend many of the men, but if men learned how to comply to the standards of the feminine, the standards would be raised, right? Because the feminine, the divine feminine, the muse, it brings an inspiration for the masculine. The masculine can lead the way, man. But we've been backwards. I truly believe God has given us the opportunity. And Frank, if you've got something, feel free. But I'm going to keep going otherwise.
Yeah, no. You're right. Masculine and feminine need to be brought into harmony. It's absolutely true.
Well, there's another part too that our friend Lolo, who was here earlier, right? We're all on this path of discovery, individually and collectively together. But I want people to wonder, could it be possible? Could it be possible that somehow God allowed us to live the lives we're living only to find our ways into this dysfunctional community of YouTube people and whatever? But what if these ideas can be sorted out, ending wars, bringing the reforms into the governments and the politics so that it's no more insanity of selfishness and exploitation? What do you think?
I think it can be. Each one of us, we have to seize our power and get back a lot of the big ideas that are coming up in these spaces, like some of the things Paul and Slaves bringing forward, what you're bringing forward, some of the stuff that TML's bringing forward. If anything else, that's just that freedom of religion idea there, and then understanding the histories. I think some about the geopolitics as well. It doesn't necessarily serve me, but I have a platform that's much larger than many of these people realize, and it's why, to some extent, I have to be careful of what I do online. But you're uniquely positioned. Again, I've said it before, in the everyday man's position, that you could actually be a voice for the people, and you have the right idea, I believe.
That's the hope, my friend. I mean, it is my prayer. Hey, for those suggesting I bring Illumitami back up, he's got something on his screen along with a middle finger for me. So I'm not inclined to do that. I'm actually seeing we're nearing 2 hours. That seems like a good time for me to wrap up. Sometimes it's better. Go ahead.
I just came to wish you a Merry Christmas and to sing you the old "We Three Kings of Orient," because that was that's part of the message. And God bless you, Jack. I love Jesus, and I love the season. I mean, it's one of my favorite times of year. So I hope you have a lovely time at the bar this evening, and maybe you'll bring someone out of their darkness. So good magic on you, Jack. Have a great day, man.
Much love to you, Frank. I appreciate you sincerely. To all joining, sincerely, thank you. Thank you to all who are a part of this experience. If you tuned in late, you tuned in later at a different time, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the journey, part of this experience with me. We are We are the life that is here for today. I had a little fun with the thumbnail, right? Peace and blessings to all on this glorious Talcott Tuesday, and Chats with Jack is what it's about. But delighting in the Lord, I've learned to be taken pretty seriously. For what I know is what lords over me is the truth. I delight in learning the truth. A greater perspective of what I used to know is what I continue to search for each day. I also seek to know greater experiences of love, true love, not the conditional love, not the, the love of withholding. Is your love withheld? Where are you withholding your love? Where do you find an absence of love, right? Where are you denying yourself from expressing love, from receiving love, from sharing love? These are the things that I had to ask for myself, and I encourage all of you to do the same for you. Because seriously, love grows when it's given. And you can't give. I mean, giving is evidence of your having, right? You can't give that which you don't have. But if you can give love, that shows you have love. And if you have love, you can feel love. And if you feel love, well, baby, share that stuff. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to wrap it up. Sincerely, thank you to you all once again. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Tommy and Snafu in the back, I love you both. Till next time, peace.